Hello, hello. Good
Hello,
morning.
everyone. Good morning. We are bright and early today. We're trying this new time. So if you are spending your morning with us,
Or your afternoon
or
or your evening.
we welcome you to this live demo. And for those that might be new to this, we do this at least once a month, where Jerome, which is the one that you see over there, bonsai professional, will be working on a bonsai material and styling it, and he will share a little of his process and also of the species. And you are encouraged to ask questions, any questions that you might have. And I'm Mari behind the camera, and I'll be reading those questions to him while he works on the tree. So without further ado, let us know what we have here today.
Alright. Afra. So all of you guys can actually participate where you are because it is a tropical tree, yes. So if you live in a warmer climate, you can keep it outdoors year round. But if you live in a temperate climate, you can still keep it outdoors in the summertime. And then once the temperatures get below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 45, you can just move this guy indoors, and you can move it in the front of a bright and sunny window, or maybe you have already a grow light section set up, and this tree will be very, very happy to live indoors during the winter months. Or even if you live in an apartment, you can absolutely have this tree. So yes, it does flower. It has like a pink, or I want to say maybe lilac to magenta type flowers. However, they only flower in drier climates. So think Arizona, California. Over there, you will get them to flower. If you live in a humid climate like Florida or like Houston, Texas, they might not flower. However, they will grow very profusely. So a lot of humidity, you get a lot of growth. A lot of dry air, you get a lot of flowers. So that's kind of the trade-off that you have here. But having said that, I'm going to get started here, and I'm just going to start to wire all of these branches actually. And I'm just going to start to remove some things as I go along. I'm going to start off with this is about 2.5 millimeter aluminum bonsai wire that I'm going to use here, and I'm just going to start to wire the branches that I like, and that's it. And so I'm going to give the floor back to Mari, and yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we are going live on YouTube. We are the Bonsai Supply, but also on TikTok on Jerome's account, Jerome underscore bonsai. So I see some of you tuning in from either or channel, and I just wanted to say hello to all of you. Please let us know where you are tuning in from today. We'd love to say hello to you, and also make sure to ask questions, and we'll be answering all these questions while you're on work in this Dwarf Jade. On TikTok, I want to say hello to Brendan. Hey, Brendan, welcome in. On YouTube, I want to say hello to Karen. Morning, Karen from Boyton. Hello, it's always lovely to have you here, spending the morning with us. Calle, saludos desde Puerto Rico. Hola, Calle. Amazing. Mike, good morning from Texas. Hello, Mike. Good morning from Madera, California. Hello, Thomas. Whoa, it's early there. Thinking about, okay, yes, like 6 a.m., I think, in California. So
It is, yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
Hello, hello.
All
Good
right.
morning. Our friend Texas Garden Guy, early morning bonsai demo. Love it.
Shouldn't he be at work?
That's it. Shouldn't you be at work saying here, Jerome? No, we appreciate you guys spending some of your morning with us. We like to change things around, so today we feel like an early demo, and so those are joining us. That is also morning time for you. Grab your coffee and let's have some bonsai
Well, to
time.
be honest with you, I feel more alive or awake in the morning. So I feel more fresh this time of the day to work on bonsai trees.
Yes, I like it too. So we'll see we might just stay in this time. So you guys, so our early viewers might appreciate it. So let's see. And Brandon from TikTok, he's from Ireland, and he wanted us to know that. So that's amazing. Thank you for joining. Let me see. Piper, good morning from New York. Hello, hello. Saludos desde Chile, Sonia. Amazing, Chile. Jillian, watching from the UK. All right. Wow. Oh, I guess this is actually a great time for our international friends because it might be a better time for them. Let's see.
Yeah, because usually when we do it, it's like 2 or 3 a.m. for the Europeans, huh?
Yeah,
so this might actually work better for everybody.
It's true, it's true. Life of Bonsai, saludos desde Dallas. Amazing, amazing. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for joining in. And let me start with some questions here. Okay, this first question is from YouTube. How long before and after a repot do you stop watering and fertilizing? And this is our friend from Germany. So, hello.
Hello. So after repotting, how soon do I water and how soon do I fertilize, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So water immediately, unless it is a jade or a desert rose, but those are the only 2 exceptions. Other than that, you water immediately. In terms of fertilizing, I usually like to wait about a month. So if I were to repot this today, I would wait just 1 month. I would mark it somewhere, like either in my phone as a reminder or in my agenda. And I usually like to wait after a repot about a month to start to fertilize.
All right. Wonderful. And hello on TikTok from Colombia. Oh my goodness, really international today. I love it.
Very international.
Let's see. Next question. What's the difference between Portulacaria and Crassula?
So the Crassula is the regular jade, and this is the Portulacaria is a dwarf jade. So the regular jade has a much thicker bark. It grows much taller. The branches are much thicker as well, and the leaves are thicker also. Now the Crassula is not a good species to use for bonsai, as it does not respond very well to bonsai techniques, whereas the dwarf jade is naturally a bonsai shaped by Mother Nature pretty much, because it has very interesting character. It can have a little bit of a rough texture bark, sometimes even like a reddish bark. The leaves are naturally small, like this is as big as they will get, and then you can just reduce them from here on out. They grow very tight foliage on here, so it's an already made bonsai tree. So those are basically the differences.
Wonderful, wonderful. And for those that are tuning in on TikTok, I see a lot of you asking what is happening right now. So this is a dark jade. Jerome is going to style it. You can ask questions while he does this. And then the finished tree will actually go to an online auction on our website, thebonsaisupply.com. And you can bid for this tree, the finished tree. You can win it. But this is for the US participants only at this time. I know we have a lot of viewers today of different countries. So unfortunately, it's only for the United States at this time. But of course, we're glad that you're here with us, and please ask questions and join this time with us. But for the auction, everyone that is in the US, just know that you can bid for this tree and you can win it at the end of this life. So you know. And I'll tell you more a little bit about how it works and how long it's going to be. But just wanted to let you know for those that are just joining in. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Life of Bonsai. How old is this port you're working on?
That's a great question. It's definitely an older port. I would say it's probably close to 10 years old at this point. It is quite an old port, so the trunk is about 3 inches thick. and it has a really nice root spread. So the root spread actually goes out to here. So it is a well-established tree. As you can see, it has been in bonsai training for quite a while because all the branches are here. There's no large cuts on this tree. So this tree, yeah, has been in training for a while. The exact age, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I definitely know it's an older tree for sure.
All right, and I just wanted to give a shout out to our friend Texas Garden Guy. He gave us his writing coffee and bonsai go hand in hand. Happy Hump Day, and he gifted us some money for coffee. So
Yeah.
amazing!
Thank you.
Thank you, Texas Garden Guy. And talking about coffee, Aaron, it has okay. Welcome from Arizona. What's your favorite? I live in Miami, so that's how I met Bustelo, and that's my favorite brand. I would say now that we live in Texas, we don't drink it as much, but I would say that is my favorite brand. Now, when I go to my spot, Starbucks,
Okay.
I have to say I usually just get lattes. Latte is my thing. And now they have this new Oleato coffee. And I'm loving it. That's my order now, the Oleato coffee, which is a latte. So yeah, I'll say that.
Okay, I'm a little more simple than that. So I like any coffee brand, to be honest with you. I just like to have my coffee black with a little bit of honey. That's how I like my coffee. That's my favorite. Yeah, very simple, very straightforward. Now, if I go to a restaurant or Starbucks, I would say a cappuccino.
Yeah, I
Stay
was gonna
true
say
to my
cappuccino.
European roots. But at home, that's too much work.
Yes. And actually, I introduced you to that
That's true.
coffee and honey.
Actually, it was for our wedding, wasn't it?
Well, that's how we drink the coffee pretty much in a daily basis at home. But yeah, if we go somewhere else, that would be you will do cappuccino, I'll do lattes. But yeah, no, black coffee with honey is perfect.
Yeah, if you haven't tried it, I recommend you try it. It's actually surprising. It might not sound good, but it's actually surprisingly good.
Yeah, and actually, okay, so really quick background on that. And we actually, I think I saw Rafael here in the chat, and he was he was my trainer during the wedding time, and also is Jerome's great friend, and he's a trainer, so he's the one who was like, okay, you gotta start drinking coffee with honey instead of like other things, and that was in efforts, of course, that I was, preparing for my wedding. So I needed to fit in that dress. And that was one of the things is like, we're going to do that. And we switched to that, and we have been doing it ever since. So thank you, Rafael, for that. Amazing. So back to bonsai. I have this question from Jillian. Oh, no, it's not a question. Never mind. She's making a statement. So it's good. And John, okay. John, how do I get a big trunk on my Jade? I have one for 3 years, outdoors in summer and grow lights in winter. So what do we think?
Okay, so that's actually a surprisingly easy question to answer. You'll be surprised how easy it is to thicken up trunks on a Jade. So all you want to do is you want to make sure that you have it in a bigger size bonsai pot like this one. Make sure it's in good bonsai soil, such as our all-purpose bonsai soil mixture. And then what you want to do is use about 3 times your suggested fertilizer amount. Use a fertilizer that has high nitrogen, such as like our all-purpose one, which is an 18-4-10. So use about 3 to 4 times the amount. And then, now this is the key, full sun and let it overgrow. So you see how this is like the shape of the overall tree. Let it overgrow from here to maybe about here. Okay, so let it overgrow like 2 to 3 feet. Once these branches in the front here start to droop down because of the weight, that's what's gonna make your tree thicken up, because the trunk realizes, or the tree realizes, oh my God, I have so much extra weight out here. I have to thicken up quickly to support all of that weight. And so if you let it grow out like this, the branches start to sag like this, the trunk will start to thicken up very, very quickly. And then what you can do, cut it back and then let it grow out again and let it do its thing again. And so that way you will thicken up your tree very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's a hard thing to do in bonsai, to let your trees overgrow, because that means that, you know, they will look like a hot mess for a while and you have to kind of sit on your hands, but that's really the only way that you get to thicken up a tree. And this technique applies to pretty much anything that you have. If you have maples or ficuses or whatever, let them overgrow, let the branches get heavy, let them start to sag, and that will thicken up your tree.
Amazing. And I know you mentioned that soil and the fertilizer, they're so important in developing your tree. So I know you mentioned our soil and our fertilizer. For those that might be new to our channel, to this live, this is how it looks. So you guys can find it on our website, thebonsai.supply.com, but also on Amazon, Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's. So whatever is your preference in buying supplies, we have it there.
And
So
so if you guys are located in Canada, you can find all of these products on homedepot.com. And if you are not from the United States or Canada, you can choose international shipping on our website.
yes, so I'm gonna have you on TikTok to show
Oh, I'm
the so first this is the bonsai soil
Houses.
and the fertilizer. And this is our all-purpose fertilizer and all-purpose soil. That's
Yes.
what we use across all species. For the fertilizer, we also have an organic option. So I just want to show that one really quick so that you see how it looks.
Yeah.
But if you look anywhere, Bonsai Supply,
Houses.
soil, fertilizer, you will find us. So those are the products that we use for all of our trees and what we recommend and what we also produce.
So few things about these products. So this is something that when we started, you know, processing soil, and the reason why we started processing soil is because we saw that a lot of people like to make it very confusing when it comes to bonsai soils and fertilizer. They use different types of blends for different species, different trees, and it was just too overwhelming, and we ended up having several open bags of different soils and different fertilizers, so we made it super easy. This is an all-purpose bonsai soil mixture, which means you can use this for anything under the sun. Whatever you grow, one go-to soil, don't overthink it. And we also use this for all types of trees, and we've grown trees in Florida and Georgia and Texas, so we know a thing or two about soil. So we have maples, pines, junipers, tropical trees, whatever you can think of in this type of soil. Straightforward. Water it every morning before it's about 10 a.m. We water religiously every day around the same time. And then again with the fertilizer, it's the exact same thing. All-purpose fertilizer. Use it for everything under the sun except for conifers. Now for conifers, we use the organic fertilizer. And the reason why is because if you use this for conifers, your needles may elongate. Conifer is a type of tree that you want to develop slowly, and therefore you want to use organic. And that's it. So this for everything, this for everything, this for conifers. We couldn't make it more simple even if we tried.
yeah, and I know on TikTok you might not be able to see all of these products on the screen. However, I linked them on TikTok. We're able to link those products because actually we also have a TikTok shop. I forgot about that other channel. So if you are in need of bonsai soil or fertilizer, you can just click there. I believe we also have some of sale going on right now on TikTok, and you can get these products straight from TikTok.
Excellent. Oh yeah, we have the TikTok shop too. I keep forgetting about that too.
So many outlets these days.
Well, the TikTok shop is probably our newest outlet, I would say, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely the newest. And I know you were talking about us moving in different climates and in that we know about soil. And that brings me to this question on YouTube from Aaron, which is, has your soil mix changed since moving from Florida to Georgia to now Texas?
No, so actually this soil is a very old recipe. If you have watched some of my interviews or you have read our bonsai book, I learned bonsai from my mom, and she actually used this mix, pretty much exactly this mix. And so I just kind of took it over from her, and then I made it more mainstream in terms of like making it more, all the ingredients personally for at least 15 years, and it has now 9 years or so, maybe less. That's the only difference, but other than that, it's exactly the same, and yeah, nothing has changed.
Yeah, so it's definitely a soil that we use across all species and also all climates. So
Absolutely.
amazing. And let me see. And this next question, is it better to have more like a finer bonsai soil for ports?
No, not at all. Use its exact soil mixture. So we do have a micro mix, so we call it the Shohin mix, which is the exact same soil mixture. It is just a lot smaller. I have a scoop full over here. I actually have a bag with me, but this is what it is. It's exactly the same mixture. Oh, how is this? So this would be the regular mixture in my hand, and then in the shovel you have the how is this? This is good?
Yeah.
Okay, so hand, we have the regular mixture, and then here we have the micro mix. Exactly the same mix. This one is just micro, as the name says it. It's much smaller. And so we use this soil mixture, the micro mix, for anything that is in a pot that is smaller than like 6 inches. So like 6 inches minus pot size, that's when we use the micro. 6 inches plus, we use the regular one. That's it. So this is a great Shohin mixture, and it works really well. You can work it into the smaller pots much better, and into the roots as well. And also, since the mix is a little smaller, the micro, it actually holds the water a little longer, which is exactly what you want since you have a smaller pot.
All right, perfect. And of course, they're asking how long or how often they should be repotting and how often they should be fertilizing.
So when the trees are young, like this tree is youngish, right? This is a 10-year spectrum of growing. I would still repot this tree once every year to once every 2 years, depending on your climate, depending on how fast it is growing, and also it depends on how big the pot is, of course. And so I would say once every year to once every 2 years. And then once they get really far developed, I'm talking about like maybe 30 years in training, everything on the tree is perfect, then probably every 2 to 4 years, something like that. So at the beginning, we repot a lot because the trees, when they're young, they're a lot more vigorous as well.
All right, and on YouTube they're asking, so we can repot and wire at the same time?
Absolutely. So a tropical tree, yes. If you grow anything other than a tropical tree, you would wire the trees in the fall and then repot in the spring, in the early spring. So there you wouldn't really repot and wire at the same time. And when I say temper trees, I mean like a maple or something like that. But you can also repot a maple, for instance, or any temper tree, and then wire it and start it in the summertime. You just don't do it exactly at the same moment. And the reason why is because tropical trees get repotted in the summertime, so they already have foliage on there. So it's very easy to style them and wire them. But temper trees are naked at this time of the year, and they just start to sprout. And once they start to sprout, we repot temper trees. And so once we have those delicate new buds on there, we don't want to wire them, the branches, and potentially break off those buds. And that's why we wait, just repot it, let them recover from the repot, and then go ahead and wire in the summertime.
All right. I'm gonna take this question from TikTok. When propagating dwarf jades, how long does it take for them to root, and when should we start watering?
So on dwarf jades, if you do it in the summertime, they root pretty much immediately. Like you can expect new growth within a week or two. They happen very quickly. What I do with jades when I propagate cuttings, I actually don't water until they start to grow on their own. So take a cutting, plant it in soil, put it out in full sun. Once it starts to grow, that's when I water it first time. Any other cuttings under the sun, you have to water immediately. Jade is the only exception.
Okay. Okay. So Jillian is saying, have several jades, different types.
Okay.
Some go cold in the greenhouse this winter. Leaves are soft and dropping. Would you trim the branches back and let them leaf out again? Trunk and big branches are firm.
No, so what you want to do, and this is a very good question actually. So if you have some dieback on your branches, let the tree die back on its own. And I'm going to do a little simulation here. So let's say this part of the branch here, can you see this? Okay, let's see this part of the branch here is starting to die back and it's died back to here. And I come in immediately and I cut it back to here. This will continue to rot. Then I will come back and cut it to here, and then it will continue to rot. So it will just continue. You will basically you will chase the rot. Instead of what you want to do is let the tree stop the rotting on its own. So if it starts to die back, just let it do its thing, let it stabilize, and once it is stabilized and new growth is starting to come out, then go ahead and cut back all of the rotten sections. And don't water right now. That's the worst that you could do on a dwarf jade. So just leave it alone, give it a lot of heat, and just let it be.
All right. Wonderful. Great questions, guys. About
Very good question. Yes,
jades.
guys.
So I wanted to know. I know you're like already got some progress
Yes,
in
ma'am.
there. So I want to just to tell us a little bit about what you are seeing with this tree and what is your vision with it.
Obviously, it's going to be a formal, informal, upright tree. I knew that from the beginning because it has that upright growth. Basically, what I'm doing is when I started, if you watch from the beginning, if you did not watch from the beginning, once the video is uploaded, go back and look at the beginning. The tree was kind of like this. All the branches were like this. And that's because they grow towards the sun. So a very natural behavior. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking these branches and I'm basically just opening up the tree. I'm bringing them down. That way, sunlight can penetrate into the canopy. I get more back budding. I get more growth in here. And the tree will start to look more like a tree. Because a mature tree doesn't grow branches like this. A mature tree is what I'm trying to create here. An image of an old tree, they have branches that are like sagging down and heavy, and they have this type of feel to it. And so basically that's what I did exactly here. So I went through it and I wired all of these branches down and just cleaned up this mess a little bit in here. And as you can see, it's starting to shape a pretty beautiful tree already.
Yeah, I mean, I love dwarf jades. They are such a great material to work with and also to take care of. And in fact, every time someone, bless you, ask for a beginner tree or something, they want to start with, we always said dwarf jades, at least one of the recommendations, is a really good tree to work on, is resilient, is easy to have as well indoors when it's cold. I don't know. I mean, I would say it's one of my top species just because of the way, all the great characteristics that it has. So for those that might be thinking about getting into bonsai or that first tree, or just another tree if you already have multiples, and you haven't had a jade yet, I would say, what are you waiting for? This is
True.
such a great tree. And for those that actually like this specific jade that Jerome is working on, we are going to auction it. You will just go an hour or so after this live ends. You can go to our website, thebonsaisupply.com, and under YouTube auctions, you'll see you can bid for this tree and win it. For the US participants at this time, so I just wanted to double chat because I know some people are tuning in from different countries. But if you're in the US and you like this tree, we invite you to bid for it for the next 48 hours, and we hope you win it.
Yeah, like I said earlier too, I mean, this is probably the largest tree that we have ever done. Also the oldest tree, right?
Yeah,
That
that
we've
was
done
for
in our
smaller.
lives, so definitely take advantage of that. And it is a very old jade, and these guys are getting harder and harder to get. Like to get a jade like this right now is extremely difficult. Nobody has them, so definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, and I did see a question about where we got it from, and we have a good friend in Florida that actually saw this tree and sent us pictures, and we're like, oh, we want it. And he shipped it to us. So this is in Florida. This was from Florida. Florida has great places to visit. So if you are in Florida, you are already winning. There's so many bonsai nurseries and places there. And we wanted to give a shout out to Dragon Tree Bonsai, which is where this tree came from. So yeah, if you're in Florida, give them a visit.
Yeah, and before you Google them, they don't ship any trees, unfortunately. So you have to
Yeah.
go there in person.
Just,
and
or
pick
have
them
a
up.
good friend like we have that will do
That
that.
helps too. That helps too.
We'll go for you. We'll take pictures, and we'll ship it to you. So, but yeah, it's worth the visit anyway if you are close by.
It's actually the only place that I know of that has large jades like this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a quite big jade. I mean, it's going to be a big box looking at this. So
We can still turn it into a shohin if you like.
it's so good. Okay, so question from Texas Garden Guy. Do you normally defoliate the jades before styling?
That's a very good question, Dustin. So every other tree that I would work on, and that's every tree except for jade and conifers, I would defoliate them. We don't defoliate conifers because they would die if you would defoliate them unless of course it's a large. But other than that, I defoliate pretty much everything that I work on, and the reason why is because I want to see the tree naked first. Because I want to see the silhouette, I want to see all the branch placement as I style it. Now a jade is a type of tree that stores all the water in the leaves versus like in the soil, versus like in the roots and in the trunk. So here I would also not defoliate, I would just trim it back. You see how this tree is like semi-defoliated, like a partial defoliation? That's what I would do. You can defoliate a jade, but it's not something that I practice myself. I have defoliated my big jade maybe twice in its entire lifespan, so it's not something that I do on jades. But great question.
Yeah, so basically you can, but you not necessarily need to. Is that where?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I'm trying to say, talking around the bush a little.
Yeah, no, I mean defoliating a big tree. I remember when we defoliated that jade. That took like 4 hours. It was wild.
Yeah, that
And-
was wild.
And a lot of times you defoliate because you want to see better into the branches, and you want to also promote the smaller leaves and all of that. But it seems like in a jade, it already has a smaller leaf, so you have already, it's easier to work on them without defoliating them.
That's true.
So yes, that's gonna save you some time on of the day, of course.
So I'm getting out of the frame here a little bit. That's just because I like to look at the tree from a little further away. There we go.
Yes, the process.
So now I'm just doing the fine tuning here. Cut this back a little bit here.
Fine tuning.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a marker in here of what I think the front should be, which is here. Alright, so tell me when this is in the front.
Is in the front now. Well, yeah.
So I think, well, I can turn it and you can tell me what you guys think, what the front should be. But this is kind of what looks best to me when I stepped away. It's very inviting here. You have an open trunk space. It kind of draws you in. Hopefully this portrays onto the camera. But it looks really, really good in person in terms of the overall size and silhouette and shape of the tree. What do you think? Do you like it like that? Or should I give it a spin and see if you can find...
I would like a spin for sure.
Okay,
Anyway.
So you tell me stop when you see a front.
No, just do the whole spin. We want to see the whole tree.
So obviously the good thing is about this tree is that once you get it, you can obviously change the front if you don't like my front. And no hard feelings.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Yeah, maybe
What's
you look
that,
better like this, in terms of the way that you look at it from the camera angle.
Yes, yes. I mean, I like it. And I do see it could have a couple of other fronts. So this is a good tree overall because it might have multiple fronts. But talking about fronts, can you maybe just share with them how you pick a front, or like why do you think this is the best front of this tree? I know you said about being inviting and all of that, but if you can give us a little more insights of this process and maybe remove the thing so we can see it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really hope that this translates onto the screen, but this tree looks really, really well from this angle right here. And that's because the root spread is the widest here. Overall of the tree, it's very wide from here to here, which makes the tree look like it's more stable, it's big, it's heavy, it's old. And then what I like about it is that the tree gently leans forward and then it has a little subtle movement in here in the trunk, which adds more interest. It makes it look a little more, interesting to look at than if it was just completely straight. So it leans forward a little bit towards the viewer. The trunk is open right here. In the back we have heavy branches that will block that view, like for instance over here. You see how this will block your view into the tree, right? But then over here, it's open, it's a little more inviting. You get to see much more of the trunk. And then as you follow up from the bottom to the top, just the entire line of the tree looks very clean, it looks very nice. And that's basically what I look for in a tree. Now, obviously, if I didn't have a perfect tree like I have here today, and that's because this tree has been in bonsai training for a while, it made my job a lot easier. You could, of course, cut some branches, you could wire some branches and move them in different positions. And this is why we use wire, to shape the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to discuss a little bit about potting options. For those of you that have been with us in the lives before, we like to talk about some pots. Like if this was your tree, what type of pot would you use? Would it be glaze, if on glaze, or if it's glaze, what color? What shape? Would it be rectangular, oval? Would it be shallow, dip? So please let us know in the comments if and get creative. What kind of pot will you use for this tree? And if we have it, we'll show you how it looks, and we have a little bit of fun before we wrap it up. And while you guys think about that, I do wanted to give a shout out to our potting mat, which has been a lifesaver of mess-free situation here for us. So what you guys think about those pot options, I'm gonna have Jerome tell you a little more about this potting mat that you see in here.
Okay, sounds good. So while you gather the pots, do you think you could get me my new pot that I got? It's right out that door.
Okay,
The
yeah.
shallow one? Perfect. All right, so the potting method I'm using here, which is this orange one, so it's orange on the outside and it's yellow on the inside. And so this is what Mari was referring to as product that we added to our product line. It is 39. Actually, so what's cool about this is that I can actually here on the corner, and I can button this together all the way around, like so. And even in the back, I can push these buttons together, and that will contain the mess, as you guys can see here. All the mess that I have created here today, it will be caught by this little wall here and keeps the mess inside of this mat. And so, let's see if you can actually see this. This lip here, let's see for a second. Yeah, so this is the lip that actually contains all the mess. And so we use this potting mat for actually repotting trees. And I'm actually repotting inside the house now that I have gotten this mat. Mari allows me to repot now inside the house. And that's because outdoors the conditions are not always perfect for me to do so. It might be raining, it might be too hot, it might have too many mosquitoes, it might be too dark. So inside, nicely air conditioned, I can do it right here. And so once I have repotted, I just remove the tree and I just take the corners and add them all up. And then all the mess is contained in this little package. I can walk over to the garbage, dump it, and then I can just hose it off with some water and the mat will be clean again and reusable. And so you can actually fold this into a little square and easily stow it away. Now we also use this to overwinter trees inside the house. You know, we just put this mat on the floor by like a window, put the trees inside, fold out the corners, water the trees because it is waterproof. It will keep the water, which will then give humidity back to the tree, which is perfect when you are overwintering indoors. Now lastly, I'm also using this to transport trees, which is a big game changer. So when I go to a nursery, find a tree, I fold up this mat in the trunk or in the back seat, set the tree right inside this mat, and if it falls over, not a big deal. And so I actually have many of these mats because they're only $10. So I have a lot of them. I have like 5 or 6 that I use throughout all of my bonsai areas.
All right, and I mean that, I know you said something about potting indoors, but
Well, yeah, you allow me to do
bonsai is an
potting.
outdoor sport, man, or hobby,
Sure,
or whatever,
but not when it
art.
comes to-
So
when it
even
comes-
if you, but even if you're outdoors, I
Yeah, of
still
course.
would want you to use the potting mat.
Oh yeah, of course, anywhere. I'm just
Outdoors is also messy, can get
I
messy.
am from Switzerland. I don't do well with the heat. So here in Texas it is extremely hot. I don't repot outdoors, I repot indoors. But that's because I'm from Switzerland and I cannot take the heat. But yeah, of course, like if you have a greenhouse, you're repotting there, you have a shed, you absolutely want to use this mat, no matter what. It is tear resistant, so whatever you scrape this on or anything like that, nothing happens to this mat. I've been using this exact mat for quite a while now, and I still love it, and it still looks brand new. So yeah, wherever you do it, absolutely always use the mat, indoors, outdoors. Good call.
Yeah, and for those asking, you can get this in our website. I also on TikTok, adding it right now so you can see it. And you can get it straight from the TikTok shop as well. So here you have it. And all right, so let's talk pots. I see in the comments. Let's see. Shallow round pot or maybe even oval. Okay. Navy blue low oval glaze. Let's see, shallow glaze, black pot. All right. Well, this was very specific, Jillian. It has like the way you're gonna position it and everything. I love it.
Nice.
Okay, you guys put a little harder for us today. I don't think we have any of those. I mean, we do have blue, so we can show you Karen, but it's not oval. It's more of a rectangular, and it's on the smaller size. So just in this one, we're gonna use our imagination a little bit. But here is just an idea of how a blue pot will look with the tree. You gotta go a little higher. Let's see. Higher?
Still higher.
Yeah.
Still
All right, let's see. Okay, that's better. Yeah, okay, here we have it.
Obviously, the pot would have to be a lot larger than this.
Yeah, it will have to be larger, but I think you get an idea with this blue. I mean, I do like the contrast of the blue and the green.
And especially the pot is blue on top, but like a darker blue at the bottom or almost black, so it definitely adds more interest. So this is an 8-inch pot for this type of tree. I would definitely recommend like a 14-inch size pot if you went with something like this and deep.
If you want to make it grow bigger, right? But I think
Absolutely.
if
No,
we
even
go,
if you want to keep it the same.
but if we go on the smaller size, you'll probably be okay with a 10 or a 12. Because
Maybe-
this is 8 and
yeah,
it's already.
maybe 12 you'll be okay if you want to keep the same size.
All right, and for the oval, since anyway, it's like let's check the oval because I do see the oval is one of the most requested one, and of course we're gonna go with our signature pot yellow. So here you can see how it will look with the yellow pot. All right. And see, that one is already a 10, and it's not too bad.
Yeah, this one could probably work, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so okay, that's kind of cool. I don't.
Yeah, it's a 10-inch. That would actually probably work, to be honest with you. I would just go a little bit bigger, especially for what I have in mind with this tree. But that would definitely, a 10-inch would work, yeah.
Okay, so it seems like oval is definitely one that people are liking the most, and and then we have one more here for on glaze. People that prefer on glaze pots.
Let me set it inside.
This one's a really nice. This one's also, I think that one's a 12 inch.
This one looks more like a 13, almost 14, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little bit bigger.
So it's more like the size that you would like it, maybe.
So I would like it. I'm gonna tell you what I have in mind with this tree.
All right.
How does it look?
It looks nice, but you want that side?
The head in the front?
The head in the front?
Yeah, I would have the head in the front, but obviously you can have the head rotated to the side and have it in between two heads. Let me see what it looks like.
I will have to go a little lower here. All right, I think we can see it now. All right.
Yeah, so that would definitely work. I don't hate this at all. I like this a lot, actually.
Yeah. So you said what is your idea with the pot? You said.
So I do like this one a lot. Now that you have brought it out, I like that a lot. What I was thinking originally, I got this new pot that I think will be perfect for it. It is about a 16, maybe 15 and a half, 16-inch pot, but it is very shallow, maybe 2 inches deep. So it will be about this size, shallow, and it is like a green with like hues of blue. It's a light green. I think that will work really well with this and have this tree kind of potted a little bit off center in that big shallow pot. But I'm a shallow pot kind of guy in general anyway, so anything that I pot, my first go-to thought is always shallow.
I know, and I think that's one thing that people are always a little skeptical. They're like, wow, you can go that shallow with that tree, like, you know, and it's interesting that that's just like your first thing to go to.
Yeah, so actually, this is something that might surprise you if you're new to bonsai, but deeper pots like this dry out much faster than shallower pots actually. Because if you have a deeper pot like this and you water, the water will sink down to the bottom and out the bottom of the pot much quicker because it has that space, right? Whereas in a shallow pot, it's a lot more difficult for the water to drain out. And so that's why in a shallow pot, the tree actually, the soil stays wet for much longer than in a deeper pot. And the deeper you go, like let's say you go into a cascade and it's very tall, it will dry out much faster than a shallow pot. So something to think about. And I know it doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense.
All right.
I actually love it too, the more that I look at it.
It's a great pot. I mean, I do love this. This has a lot of character, this pot as well.
This is a very rare pot too, by the way. I've had this pot for about 15 years now, and I got it in China, and it has like crows, like these door knockers. So in China, door knockers like this are very common in like temples, like very big houses, like very wealthy places. And so this is like a crow skull door knocker. So it's very cool, and it has 3 of them.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna have you give us a little summary of everything we've done today, so we can wrap it up and let everyone, actually start working. And
including us.
Well, this is our work too. But I'm going to also give you guys a discount for our website. I'm putting it on the chat right now for everyone that stay with us until this very end and join us in this morning. Putting it on the chat, and is going to be available for 2 weeks, so you guys are able to use it. And as a thank you for us, if you're in need of bonsai material, bonsai fertilizer, bonsai soil, or the potting mat, you can give it a try with this little discount.
Absolutely. All right, so the first thing that we did here when we started with this was pretty much I just started to wire down all of the branches because they all were growing towards the sky very vertically, so I brought them down, opened the tree up. A tropical tree should always be much wider than taller, so I would like these branches to extend a little further in the future. And then I cleaned up some of the foliage. I call them suckers, like little branches that are in like armpits of the branches or like on the bottom of branches. I removed all of those because I'm not going to use them in the final design. Once I finish up all of the wiring of the branches and I opened up the tree, I just kind of worked on the overall silhouette to make it look more beautiful. We chose a front together, and now we also chose a pot together. Now, whoever gets this tree, I recommend that you wait until the summertime to repot this guy, but give it a lot of, keep it somewhere warm. If you can, 70 degrees Fahrenheit plus. You can fertilize it right away when you get it and give it some water, but then repot it in the summertime when you have consecutively 70 degrees Fahrenheit at night. And that's it.
Amazing. So thank you guys again for everyone joining on TikTok. We went live also on our YouTube channel. We are the Bonsai Supply. You'll see the link to that channel on the profile and the bio. So if you want to see the whole video, this whole live, you can go back to our YouTube channel and it will be posted there. And yeah, so we'll take some pictures of this tree, and in about an hour or so, you'll be able to go to our website, thebonsaisupply.com, under YouTube options, and you can bid for this tree. This is for the US participants only at this time, but happy bidding, and thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Excellent. I'm going to piggyback on what you said. I liked everything you said. So thank you guys so much for spending the morning with us, and we'll catch you guys next time.